dialect to do something about it. Ship got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
One, two, one, two. There we go. And here we go. On this Monday evening in the city. It is a beautiful 6 p.m. on this Monday, which means it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for an all-new and live Real Talk Memphis. Glad to have you aboard with us this evening. I am your humble host. My name is Chip Washington. Glad to be here. It's always glad to be whenever you have someplace to go. It's always glad that you always feel glad when you can get there, right? Yes, indeed. So anyway, we have a good show for you tonight. A lot happening this evening. Some good guests and some good information. And I promise you, I will get you out of here so you can go home in time to watch the national championship, NCAA men's basketball championship tonight. Let's see here. Who is it? It's UConn versus Michigan. So it should be a great game. I'm going to be getting home myself to check that out. But in any event, we have a little business to take care of first between 6 and 7 p.m. tonight. Of course, there are many ways you could get this fine piece of radio broadcasting. And even though you didn't ask, I know you were thinking about it. So here we go. Of course, we're live right now on 91.7 WYXR radio. You can also find us on the app, the WYXR app. We are also live on the TuneIn, TUNEIN app. And we are live streaming tonight on Facebook. So you can either listen to us or you can check us out this evening on Facebook and see exactly what is going on in this studio. In terms of, let's see, I'm not done yet. In a couple of days when the show loads up and they post it, you can find it on what is it? YouTube, right? YouTube. And by the way, we're working on that, and we're going to on my page. We'll give you that information at some point once we get everything up and going, where you'll actually be able to watch the show. I know right now you can hear the audio of the show on YouTube, but we want to be able to let you see what is happening as well on that, and we're working on that as well. I got my producer Lulu handling those duties, so we'll let you know when all that is up and moving around. And of course, we are a podcast. Did you know we're a podcast? Yes, we are. You can always find us wherever it is you get your podcast once this show is loaded up. So there you go. You got all the information you need to make an informed decision about watching our show and being a part of it. So in terms of our guest this evening, well, we're going to be talking to a few folks coming up in just a couple of minutes. Last week, many of you remember the folks up in the State House in Nashville released the findings or the first findings of this audit that they've been working on in regards to the Memphis and Shelby County schools. Remember, that was last Wednesday. Well, a lot of folks had a lot of things to say about all of that. And I'm going to have a guest joining me in just a few minutes. She is State Representative Karen Kemper. And she was part of the Democratic team that did a press conference last week after what we all heard from the State House folks. So we'll be talking to her about all of this and kind of gathering her thoughts about it. I can tell you right now, she's not too happy with what she heard, and we'll get some information from her about that in a couple of minutes. A little bit later on, we are going to be talking with. Now you remember about a week or so back the No Kings rally that was held nationwide, all over the country. Tens of thousands of people hitting the streets all over this country to protest, of course, this No Kings. We don't live in that kind of country here, and I think they sent a pretty loud message. That included here in Memphis, Tennessee. We also had a march here as well. Well, I'm going to be talking to a couple of folks who were involved in that march last week, and Jessica Miller is one of them. And then there's another individual who is part of all of this too. He was actually one of the marchers, and he was also one of the individuals who was detained by police. There were 3 of them that were actually arrested in reference to this march. And so he's going to be joining us as well to talk about this. And I know they had a lot to say about what was going on inside the jail because, well, they were inside the jail. So we'll hear from them. We'll hear from him as well. And a little bit later on in the broadcast, we will be talking with newly appointed County Commissioner Matt Szalaj. He will be joining me for his first interview here coming up. He was appointed maybe a few weeks ago, and we hadn't had a chance to talk with him yet about why he decided to throw his name in the hat for this. He'll be County Commissioner representing District 9 for about 5 months until the election process takes place later on this year. So we'll talk with him a little bit about all of that as well. So there you go. Good show, good broadcast lined up for you this evening. But as always, at this part of the program, we like to celebrate your trip around the sun. A lot of you are still here. By God's grace, he decided to keep you around for another year. And you know what? I figured if he could do that, then we could at least shout you out. What do you say? Can't do that until I say, hit it, Brent. Happy birthday going out to the following folks today. Happy birthday to Vicki Miller Brown. Donna Boykin celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to Razel Buckley. Helen Wren celebrating her birthday today, as is Leah Williamson. Michelle Asmus celebrating her birthday today, as is Keisha the comedian Kathy. So yeah, a lot of birthdays there. I don't see any men in the bunch. That's all women today. Well, listen, happy birthday to each and every one of you from all of us here at Real Talk Memphis. We hope that this day has been filled with love and laughter, and of course, some cake and ice cream. You know, that's like my add-on. But listen, we hope that you had a wonderful day, and more importantly, we are glad to be able to celebrate you this year, and we hope to be with you next year for your next trip around the sun. Thank you, Bren. So there you go. It's always nice to celebrate birthdays, don't you think? Yeah, I think so too. All right, so let's take a look at some news and notes in reference to what has been happening. And by the way, before I even get into all of this, yesterday was Easter Sunday, and I hope that all of you had a wonderful Easter Sunday celebrating, God, you know, Jesus Christ. He got up, and if there's no other reason to celebrate, that's the reason to celebrate. And I hope that whatever you did, you celebrated yesterday in your own way with your family and your friends, and hope that it was a wonderful Easter holiday for each and every one of you. All right, so I started to talk a few minutes ago about this audit that was happening, the state audit in reference to the Memphis and Shelby County School Board. They came out with their report. This is 25% of one of the reports that they started to report on. And of course, you know, from their perspective, it was doom and gloom. It was the worst audit we've ever seen, worst mismanagement of funds, the whole 9 yards. It's 25% of one document. And they found $1.7 million in waste and fraud, according to them. Another $1.1 million in policy infractions and other things. But this is like supposedly the first step. But weirdly enough, the individuals, the comptroller, and a few of the leaders up there in the State House said, this is one of the worst audits we've ever seen in our life, ever in the history of, and it's going to help us to move forward. Now, they're doing this as justification to create a takeover, if you will, of the Memphis and Shelby County School District. They want to appoint a board of governors to oversee the day-to-day operations of an elected, hear me now, elected board of school board members. It sounds like they want to move forward with this, but we'll see how all this process takes place because, when you appoint people, and this is just a Chip opinion, when you appoint people to positions that are overseen by people who were duly elected by the people, there's something very wrong with that. The folks who have the positions and who have the responsibility were elected by the constituents of Memphis and Shelby County. Am I correct? Yes, I am. These folks will be appointed by the governor and a few leaders up in Nashville. Now, if somebody can make sense of all of that to me, I would really appreciate it because I just don't understand that. But in any event, we will keep an eye on that situation, and we'll be talking with Karen Camper, one of the legislators in Nashville, for a rebuttal on all of this in just a couple of minutes, so stay tuned for that. One of the missing, over the weekend, we had 2 planes that were shot down over Iran, and fortunately, there were 2 different planes. One had one pilot. He was rescued. He's going to be okay, it sounds like. The other one had 2. There was an immediate fine for one of the pilots. But it's been about a day and a half or 2 days when we were looking for the other, the co-pilot in that plane, and he was found yesterday, and he was found alive, and he was found safe, and he is going to be treated, and it sounds like he is going to be okay. Thank God for that. That nobody was killed in this process. People need to understand this is war, and war is serious, and war is real. And now there has been a threat by the president who said that, look, if we don't get peace accord from you all, he said that we're going to bomb everything. We're going to bomb you right out of existence. The deadline for all of this is tomorrow evening at 8:00. So he said if he doesn't get what he wants, including the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, where the oil tankers can go through, he says that Iran will be no more. So, again, we're getting into a very tense situation here, especially in terms of the president and his rhetoric and all of the noise that he's been making the last little bit. So we will have to pay very close attention in the next 24 hours to see what is going to happen over there and how it is going to affect us. Very serious situation, this war deal. A bit closer to home, there was a triple shooting downtown on Riverside Drive over the weekend. Did you know that? 3 individuals were involved in it, and hopefully none of at this point, the people who were wounded, looks like they're going to be okay. But 3 people shot down there. There were 2 big groups of people apparently, and they got into it. And then next thing you know, the guns come out and the bullets start to fly. So that investigation is going to continue. And speaking of Riverside Drive in that area down there by Tom Lee Park, today begins the closure of Riverside Drive as they prepare for River Beat. 2026, the River Beat Festival comes your way the beginning of next month. And, of course, the city contractors have begun closure operations down on Riverside Drive between Beale Street and Georgia Avenue from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is going to happen for the next few weeks. So don't say you didn't know, because when you get down there and you go that usual way, you won't be able to do it for a few weeks because you will be blocked. No doubt about that. And finally, before we get into the broadcast, LeBron James. Many of you may have heard of him. He plays a little game called basketball. And I don't know, he was recently, he was on a golf outing with some friends, and he started talking about some things. And one of the things he was talking about were places that he didn't like to stay. Now, I don't know. I have no idea how this conversation emanated, but he said that he didn't like to stay in 2 places when they traveled. One was Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the other one was Memphis, Tennessee. And he said, I don't like staying, I'm 41 years old. I don't like staying in a Hyatt hotel, and there's nothing to do down there, and the whole 9 yards, and basically said that Memphis ought to take its operations and move them to Nashville. And, again, this is the guy that comes to town twice a year for a cup of coffee, right? I mean, they play a couple of times a year in this town. They're not even here that long. But he's determined that he doesn't like it. But what I'm surprised about is the reaction of you people in this city. People have lost their minds about all of this. I mean, seriously, everybody's like, what's he talking about? And so. The Chamber of Commerce, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, he had something to say about all of this. Thank you. Let's see, a couple of other folks. The mayor, of course, welcomed. He wanted LeBron to come to town and hang out and have some ribs or what have you. But in any event, calm down. It's LeBron James, and I think we'll survive. Having said that, let's go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to get into the broadcast. What do you say? This is Real Talk Memphis for a beautiful Monday evening in the city. I'm Chip. You know who you are. Let's take a first one, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
This is Pat Sansone. Join me for the Baroque Down Palace every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. here on 91.7 WYXR.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you, and very happy to have my first guest with me this evening. It's been a very busy time in the State House and the state legislature, particularly today, moving bills along. And of course, I really, really appreciate her time joining us. We talked at the top of the show about this audit that was announced last week, and I wanted to get her take on this in particular. She did speak on it after that information was disseminated by the leaders last week. Please welcome to the show State Representative Karen Camper. She is the Democratic House Caucus leader. She joins me now, and it's good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
Good to see you, too. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you for taking the time to come on the show on a very, very busy day. So, okay, we got the big announcement last week from some of your colleagues up there, and I guess first things first, this is 25% of one of these audits, and after they presented their case and made it sound like the worst thing ever in the history of issues, and basically said at the end, even with that very little bit that came out, they're ready to move on and do an intervention down here and a possible takeover. I heard you speak on it. But I want you to tell our listeners what you thought about that whole thing, and where are you now with it?
Thank you, Chip, and I appreciate your continuous coverage of this because it's so important. 25% of an audit is an incomplete audit, number one. So I think they're making decisions on an incomplete situation.
Yes, ma'am.
But I also think they're doing it to justify their own actions in terms of passing that legislation that they want to pass.
Yeah,
it's giving them the fuel that they believe they need to get other members on board with voting aye, if you will, to get this bill done, because it stalled because people were concerned. People were saying, hey, you asked us for money for an audit. And hey, I was with it. I was like, you're going to find out things are not as bad as you actually think they are. So I was okay with funding the audit. But I also asked the speaker to wait until the audit is complete before you make any decisions, and they did not do that.
Absolutely not. And that was really the stunning part to me in all of this. How you come to a conclusion, but it seemed to me that was an already foregone conclusion. But how do you come to a conclusion after doing all of that, and you're just in the beginning steps of the process? And I know you said that, but to me, this really is, and just one man's opinion, an overreaction to all of this, to the point to where you would appoint a managerial group, or whatever you want to call them, to oversee the day-to-day processes of an elected school board. And that part right there, Karen, is the part that really gets to me. These folks were duly elected by the citizens of Shelby County. And how is it that you think in a group of appointed individuals, as they said, from Shelby County, but to be appointed by the governor and a few of those other folks up there, that just doesn't seem right, does it?
Well, I don't think it seems right. And I think that that's what we're hearing from the people. We heard that initially from the citizens in Shelby County. It's like, wait a minute, we voted for these people to represent our voice, and we want to hold them accountable. So I think there were people, at home that kind of wanted to hear the audit as well, so that they would have what they need to hold the people they elected accountable, not to justify putting in some type of managerial board to justify them trying to take over our schools. And I think, that's, like I said, why it stalled initially, because it was like, okay, if they take it, it's theirs, and you don't even know what's going on. And I think the people really want to see the audit completed. On my way up today, I had somebody call me and ask me, when did we think it was going to be completed? Because they really want to see what the final document says about our school system, so that they can, number one, hold those that are elected accountable. And I think there is an election going on right now for maybe one or two of them. And people want to, use that in their decision makings about who to elect. So I don't think the people in the city, in the county, want to see the state come in and take over. And even if there is a board of advisors, I don't feel like people want to give them the power to override any decisions made by the local board.
Yeah, absolutely that. And when you hear that, and you hear how they're trying to set all of this up, people are duly upset. Now, you're going to have people here that are on both sides of the line. There are some folks that don't like the current school board. They don't like the duties, and they don't like what is happening with our children. But I mean, to me, it seems like the schools that are performing well, and there are many that are performing well in the district, and that are doing the job every day, are getting thrown in with. I mean, everybody's getting thrown in under the same umbrella here, and that's a problem that I have. So basically, what you're saying is there isn't anybody in the school district that is performing up to level that we need to come in and save the day. Am I right about that?
Well, that's the perception that they're trying to give, right? But nothing in the audit even talks to the classroom. Nothing in the audit even recognize how well we are doing in a lot of places, a lot of schools within our system. It's only about the administrivia, which I understand. There are some internal controls we absolutely need. There are some things we need to put in place, some policy procedures. But those things are not having a direct impact, if you will, on what's happening in the classroom. And I think we're losing sight of all the great work that's going on in our classroom. And in a system that has been through so much over the last, I'm going to say 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Every single year we've added something to our system. Every single year we've made a change. Every single year our kids have had to adopt. And the other thing that I think it does, if you remember when you're on your conversation about lumping everybody together.
Yeah.
I remember a time when they was like, the schools are failing. And it could have been like maybe one or two schools. But the kids, that's what they hear. You're failing. You're a failing school. You could have been at 80% in 6 categories and maybe not doing so well in just one. But they were categorizing and throwing everybody in that pot and in that conversation. And I think, and I still believe this, that had a negative impact on our students. It made them feel like they were not valued, that they were not achieving, or that they were underachieving, and all of the great things that they were doing did not matter. And so we need to move out of that mindset.
Absolutely that. And a couple of things I was wondering about. The time period here is 2022 to 2024. And we are in the year, we're 2026 now. And so one of my first questions was, why that period of time, 22 to 24, and the current, and let's just move to the current school board. 5 of those members weren't even elected. They were elected in late 2024. So again, here we go with that blanket thing again. Now, Dr. The superintendent of education, Richmond.
Roger.
Yes.
Richmond,
yes, ma'am. He said today he had a chance to look at it. They had a chance to look at it. And you mentioned there were some internal programming and some things that were going on that they were aware of, that there were some issues that they were trying to correct, and that there are some other things that they want to have a chance to be able to look at and correct too. This just seems to me like such a stopgap action to take without even giving this board a chance to really dig in and look at it, and once again say, well, no, we've seen enough, and it's time for us to move. I mean, it's ludicrous to do that, and it sends you said it earlier, but this sends a bad message to all of us down here, I think.
It does send a bad message, and it sends the wrong bad message.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
Look, people often confuse the board of commissioners with the board of education. So you have the administration that runs the day-to-day operations, that they're implementing policies, they working, doing payroll, they're doing all these things. But then the school board of commissioners are not involved in that daily. They're the legislative arm. The Board of Education is the administrative arm.
Right.
And people are merging those together to give everybody, they're throwing everybody in this pot that it's just awful. Now, let me just say this about the comptroller and their audits. I have copies of the last audits from 2021 to today. And all of them, with the exception of the one that they just did, didn't find any of this stuff, didn't make no notes about all of these corrective actions, and it includes the time that this audit is reflective of. So what didn't they see before? Why didn't they raise a red flag before? Maybe it was something that maybe there was some little patterns that they may have seen that they didn't act upon. So I hold the comptroller's office accountable too, because they have a role in allowing, if they saw some systemic things going on, to continue to happen without taking any action themselves. So I'd be interested to look more into the details on those audits. They're all like 400 or 500 pages each, so it takes a little time.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking some time tonight to come talk about this, because you have a very respected voice up there in Nashville, and it just seems to me that we need to know a whole lot more before any rash decisions are being made about the future of what education looks like down here in Memphis and Shelby County. I mean, folks are working hard every day, and they're trying to do the best job they can. But this can be one of those things, those bumps in the road. And you're right. The last 3 audits that were conducted, clean. Now, but now we're looking at, now we got all these problems supposedly. So I will leave it to you and the leadership and the folks up there in Nashville to really get to the bottom of all of this and make it difficult for these folks to have the justification to do what they do. And I know you'll do that, and I appreciate you.
And we're working very hard, very vigorously to try to do that. I will say even the lady that represented the auditing company, she said it didn't rise to no malfeasance.
Yeah.
It didn't rise to no fraud. There may have been some waste. There may have been some things they could have done better.
Yeah.
But it didn't rise to any criminality and all of this, just the worst in 45 years when you just did 3 yourself. So we're still trying to stay on top of it. Leader Agbear and I will be meeting with leadership this week. We expect that they're going to appoint the conference committee. We'll have input, hopefully, prayerfully. I've already made my recommendations of to be on the conference committee to make sure that, people who understand the issue are serving on that conference committee. So we're still deliberating to that end.
State Representative Karen Camper, it is so great to see you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Yes, ma'am. And listen, we'll keep a track on all of this, and as it moves forward, we'll reach out to you, and I'm sure you'll keep us surprised of what's happening.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate that. State Representative Karen Camper, ladies and gentlemen, giving us her take on this beginning lesson here, this beginning move about this audit. So we'll keep a close eye on it, and we'll watch out for it. Let's take another break. And when we come back, we're going to shift gears, and we're going to talk about the No Kings march that happened not only here in Memphis, but across this entire country. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, this is Stephanie
and Vivi,
and we are Just a Touch Mondays from 2 to 3 p.m.
Hey guys, you're listening to 4-5s. This is DJ Grand Piano, where I play all the soulful tunes from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Tune in each Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. And remember, if the 4 don't get you, the 5 will.
Hey, this is Robbie. Join me and my buddy Winston every Wednesday from 2 to 4 p.m. for Song on the Radio. We play some stuff you're familiar with, some stuff you'd never heard, and some weird stuff.
Hey guys, this is Stephanie
and Vivi,
and we are Just a Touch Mondays from 2 to 3 p.m.
Hey everybody, I'm Angela Jackson. Come join me Wednesday mornings 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here on 91.7 WYXR.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this beautiful Monday evening. Chip Washington with you. And listen, many of us were aware of the big No Kings protest that happened a couple of weeks back, not only here in Memphis, Tennessee, but all across this country. Tens of thousands of people took to the streets in demonstration of the way things have been going, and we all want to see a change. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about that with a couple of folks who were right in the middle of it and right in the center of all of this. They could give us a bit of a perspective on that. Please welcome to the show Jessica Miller from Indivisible Memphis and David Ram, who was there as well. Now, David in particular, I wanted to talk to because if you were paying attention, there were 3 individuals that were arrested and detained by Memphis police. And David was one of those individuals who was detained. And he, along with a couple of other gentlemen, had a lot to say about their experience at 201 Poplar. But first things first, welcome to the show, Jessica. Welcome to the show, David. Good to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great to be here.
Absolutely, that Jessica, my friend. You were, and I saw you at I think one of the TV clips I saw of you. After all this stuff was said and done that day. But first and foremost, in reference to the march, there were a lot of folks that showed up. And I wanted to ask you, as one of the organizers of this event, what did you think of the turnout, and what message did Memphis send that day from your perspective?
Our turnout was amazing. We had, at our peak, I think we had about 5,000 people
Wow.
in attendance. It was a joyous day. It was fun. It was community gathering. The No Kings is a national movement that's really just a response to increasing authoritarian power and the corruption of the Trump administration. But in Memphis, that kind of consolidates also to our predicament of the current occupation and situation in Memphis. So we tried to localize it and send the message that we did not agree with Bill Lee and his unconstitutional overreach of sending National Guard to Memphis. We were standing up to Paul Young's compliance with ICE and federal officers, to Floyd Bonner's compliance with the 287G. Those were parts of our demands that day, and I think we sent a strong message.
Yeah, absolutely. That, David, what inspired you to be a part of this protest?
Well, I've been trying to be involved with community and a lot of these different expressions of free speech since early 2025. I'm not originally from Memphis. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, but moved up here to be closer to family right before the pandemic hit. And, felt like it was really time to find community and get involved wherever I could, especially given the writing on the wall with this second Trump administration. And I just jumped in wherever I could, tried to meet as many people as I could and help out. And it's been a pretty rapid progression of involvement. I've been a safety marshal at quite a few different events that have happened since early 2025.
So, in reference to all of this, at what point did things, I guess, escalate a bit? Next thing we knew, there were some protesters kind of in the faces of these law enforcement folks, or maybe vice versa. And next thing I know, I see pepper spray being dispersed in the whole 9 yards. And I think you were in the middle of all that. Kind of describe what happened in terms of that.
Sure. To the best of my knowledge, there's a whole lot that goes on and went on that day. But, a little bit of background on a safety marshal. We are really just there to keep the crowds safe, keep the marchers safe. We put ourselves on the line and in between any real or perceived threats to those marshals,
Right.
We wear our vests. We undertake training to prepare us for this sort of event or occurrence. And we're volunteers. We're not getting paid for this or anything. We just recognize that people have a right to peaceably assemble. So we want to make sure that it stays peaceful. I'm sure you've heard stories from across the country of people gathering in large crowds and having active shooter situations,
sure,
or cars charging into them, or
sure,
even like happened on that Saturday, police coming in. So we, the marshals, had built a line between the marchers and the police, MPD, to give the marchers enough time to make it back safely to the park. We were almost there. If we'd been given even a couple more minutes, we would have been in that park and everything would have, ended. The tactic of creating a line is just to slow the pace down and lower tension, hopefully, so that those folks can, we got slower people in the back of that march, older people, kids, and it takes them a little bit of time to move. So our intent there is just to give them ample time to get back to safety.
I was going to say, Jessica, in terms of what David was discussing there in terms of what happened that day. What and in your view, in your perspective, where did it go wrong? What happened in terms of everything was going good in 1 minute, and the next minute we had a little bit of disturbance.
I've watched a lot of the videos back, Chip, and I myself, I mean, it's more that people can see and rewatch the videos. There's a really good one that goes step by step with what happened. And from what I can see, we made, because we just went around the block. We went down Beale Street, we made one turn left, and then we made the second turn left on MLK right there by the Forum. And it seems like they immediately, the police, when we got on MLK, got behind us. There was about 15 to 20 cars with their sirens completely loud.
Wow.
And I don't know how many people have experienced it, but it's very disorienting when they do that. So we tried to move on, and right, like David said, right before we got to the end, almost everybody was back at the park, and the police moved in and tried to break up the line of marshals and just started tear gassing people, and that's where it escalated.
Wow, that's very interesting. And so, David, that involved you and a couple of other individuals. What predicated in your mind the police to take the action that they did to actually take you all and arrest you? What brought that on?
Yeah, so Jessica mentioned this, but our marshal line got hit from the rear by some police who had flanked us and caught us completely off guard. And once they were able to break that line up, they started going after individuals, not only marshals but also marchers who were in the back, and even some folks there who were just trying to take footage of the event. And as chaos ensued, there was a whole lot of scrambling, trying to protect ourselves, protect our friends and
Sure.
fellow volunteers, and protect those marshals. And I don't know if there was some order given or if it was just an opportunity that they saw and seized. But when they hit the back line, everything just kind of went crazy. And you can see in those videos, one of the officers is walking up, shaking his can of pepper spray before anything goes down. And then he is very quick to use that on people who aren't even facing him.
Right.
They don't see him coming. And then all of a sudden it's just pepper spray in the air, pepper spray in faces. My arrest occurred while attempting to support my other fellow marshals, as well as some marchers. And before I knew it, I was on the ground with 4 or 5 cops on top of me, using their power to make sure that I wasn't able to help anybody else.
Well, it's extraordinarily unfortunate that something that was well intended turned dark. Like that for you in particular, and I saw the other two gentlemen when you all were released from 201, and you diagrammed and kind of let everybody know not only what happened on the street, but what was going on inside of 201. And I need a whole another hour to talk about all of that because I know it was a pretty bad situation. Jessica, at the end of the day, you are a part of an organization, one of several who are looking to make things better in Memphis and Shelby County. What did you take away from this? Obviously, not a good close here, as David was describing. But what did you take away from the day, and what as a city do you think we need to do better before we get out of here?
Way that the Memphis community is ready to be heard. Number one, they're ready to stand in community with each other and let their voices be heard, and they're not going to take the powers that be drowning out those voices. The other thing is, and I want to mention it too, is that Memphis and Memphis Police Department particularly have a long history of violence against protesting. I mean, this goes back, the day that we had this march was actually the date of Martin Luther King's last march in Memphis that started almost in that exact same spot where this happened. And, you know, the Kendrick consent decree that was put in, I mean, that was put there for a reason because of the police overreach. And, you know, while we're sitting here talking about the whys, why did it happen like this? We don't know. And that's what us and the coalition of other organizations in Memphis are demanding, that we're given transparency and that there's accountability, because there's a long line, especially recently, of the failure to hold them accountable for this behavior. And, you know, there's no excuses for what was experienced on that Saturday. There's no excuse for police violence or escalation to that point. And we need to look at this as a city and find out where they're going wrong, whether that's in training, whether that's in recruitment, whether that's in philosophy that's instilled in them. Something has to change, because we can't be fighting the same fight that they were fighting in 1968 with Mayor Loeb at the helm of it, you know?
Well, I will say this, you know, I think that it takes a great deal of courage to stand up for your convictions. And that for both of you, in terms of all of this, David, you know, you experienced something that not a lot of people get to experience in situations like that. But I'm hoping, because it seemed to get the administration's attention, especially the mayor's attention in all of this, and investigations are happening and things like that. So to me, that is a move in the right direction. But listen, I got to run. But thank you both for coming on the show. But more importantly, thank you for standing up for this city. And for holding folks accountable who need to be held accountable. And I'm sure that as time moves along, we will see more efforts like this. But Jessica Miller, David Ram, thank you both for taking the time to come on my show tonight and talk to our folks. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Chip. And, you know, we're going to keep standing up, and we hope many more people join us in the future. So
absolutely. That. Amen. Thank you both. I really appreciate you. There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to, you got a front line view of what the fight is all about here in Memphis. And if there's one thing, you know, that's important, is never give up the fight. Especially if you believe in something, never give up the fight. And I thank those two for being as involved as they are and holding folks accountable. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we will change gears and talk a little politics. It's Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page, and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Mac Man from your Mac Man Music Show. Tune in every Wednesday at 5 to 6 for the best in all kinds of soul, rhythm and blues, jazz, a little hip hop, and all kinds of music on WYXR 91.7 FM.
Come back again, man.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. Meet me on a racetrack in France every Sunday, 2 to 3 p.m. Surprisingly French tunes served piping hot every Sunday on WYXR 91.7 Memphis.
Hey guys, this is Stephanie.
And Vivi.
And we are Just a Touch, Mondays from 2 to 3 p.m.
Hey, this is Jerry, and you're listening to WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis. My show, Without a Net Radio, coming to you from 8 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night. I'll be playing you some good music. Tune in and listen.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you, and very happy to have my next guest with us. He is a newly appointed county commissioner for District 9, and he's been in the seat for a few weeks, and I'm very happy to have him on the show. Logistics notwithstanding, please welcome to the broadcast County Commissioner Matthew Szalaj. And is it okay if I call you Matt or Matthew? Is that all right, or do I need to get
Matthew is perfectly fine. It's pronounced Szalaj.
Szalaj.
Yes, sir. Szalaj.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Not as hard as it looks. And I do apologize for the mix-up in terms of our scheduling, but I am very glad to be talking with you today.
Well, absolutely glad to have you, and thank you for giving me. I had worried about your name for a while now, and I can remember when I first heard it. I have another radio show, and I was talking about you, and I said, "Look, I will not disrespect this man by mispronouncing his name." So I had the audience telling me, how do we pronounce his last name? How do we do that? So in any event, but thank you for
I appreciate that. It's all good. I'm used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, your day job is your policy advisor for the city of Memphis, I believe. And I just want to know what made you decide that when this opportunity arose that you wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, so I am a lifelong District 9 resident. I've only ever lived in Whitehaven. And for me to have the background that I do have working within legislative affairs for the city of Memphis, that deals with a local level, but also state and federal level. And in that local level, I work very closely with our city budget and getting priorities situated and making sure things are in line with the community, how we want them to be. Of course, during this short-term appointment, the main action that the commission will take is the passing of the county budget. And so I thought that the experience that I had could be pretty applicable to the appointment for the commission. But I do have a personal enjoyment for serving, and it was a new opportunity for me to serve the community at a different level.
Now, it has been said that I believe you are the youngest member ever of the county commission. Is that true? Did I get that right?
Some people have said that, yes, sir.
Okay. Some people have said it, but is it true? is my question.
From my knowledge, I haven't went into the history books, quite frankly, to see the age of everybody
verify
else.
that. Okay, I got you.
Yes, but it has been reported by numerous sources that that's the case.
So you had a meet and greet, kind of a town hall kind of a deal that happened like about a week or so ago, I think it was, and it was a full house. It was packed. A lot of folks wanted to see you, meet you, greet you, and I'm sure bend your ear about a lot of things. How was that experience? You walked in and a lot of folks were very anxious to meet you and more importantly, find out, what lies ahead for you. How was that experience for you?
That was great. I really appreciate the strong turnout that we had at that event. It was hosted at Southwest Whitehaven campus. And so, for me to be a younger person, one of the things that I have tried to emphasize is youth involvement. And so for Southwest SGA to be willing to host me there, I was very appreciative of them to do that, but also allow them to take part in the town hall and give them a heightened voice in that. But I really appreciated the community involvement and the feedback from it. I kind of have the standpoint that no one was really there for me, but they were there for District 9 and their care for the district, and wanting to hear about how I plan to go about the next few months of my term. And so it was great. It was very nice to be able to meet a lot of constituents that I already know, but talk on a different level, but also hear about some of the concerns that we have in the immediacy, as well as see about things that I will not be able to handle within the next few months that I can maybe set out the groundworks for the next commissioner of District 9 to come in, kind of go with the ground running from day one, understanding the needs of the district.
Yeah, there's a lot to pack in there in just a few months. Look at 5 months, I think it is, that you're going to be in that seat. Yeah, there's a lot to pack in there. So I guess you're mindful of that when people come at you and start talking about long-standing problems or other issues and this and that and stuff. And that's I know you have to listen to all of that, but there's really not, in some of these issues, I would imagine, there's not a lot you can do about it just from the time constraint perspective. But I guess, as you said, you can maybe get an understanding of some of the deeper issues there. And so whomever takes that seat, you might be a big help in being able to kind of set them on a proper trajectory, I think I would like to say. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I would like to do. It's my goal to where, like I had mentioned, anything that I cannot myself solve in the short term, that if I can kind of set the footing for it to be solved by the next commissioner, or even kind of just assemble all of the information, the constituents involved, any type of organizations, anything like that, to where on day one of the next commissioner's term, we can talk about all these things and they already have the blueprint of community issues, of what needs to be done, what has already been done, so that there isn't a procedural wait for them to start getting to work for the district.
Before I let you go, I have one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, how do you ensure that the constituents of District 9 have a voice in what happens in the county?
I think a big part of that is just transparency, but also awareness and making the happenings of the county and what we are doing as a commission very apparent and transparent to the commission. Growing up in District 9, it hasn't always been the easiest to find out information about what is going on with the commission, what are the statuses of different things, what do we need to be involved with as a community. And so one of the things that I would really like to emphasize and make better is that connection of the county commission with District 9. So it's a lot easier for people to understand what's going on and feel like they have a place in those conversations taking place.
One of the things I think you've emphasized here is the aspect of listening, and how important it is to listen to people. It sounds like that's going to be one thing you're going to emphasize while you're in office. Am I correct?
Yes, very much so. There's a lot of things to where, like you mentioned, people have concerns about things that may not be realistic for me to handle within my short term, but they are very real concerns. Everybody's concerns are very real. And I think at the very least, it's very important that we are being present in the community to actually listen to people and their concerns and offer real feedback about what needs to happen, what can happen, what we are able to do, and what those efforts look like from a realistic standpoint.
Well, listen, I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy young man, and I know there's a lot going on, but really appreciate you taking time to come on my show tonight and to talk to our folks who might be listening, and wish you nothing but the best of luck in the next few months. I know you'll make a difference in that short period of time, but thank you for coming, and all the best to you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think District 9 is going to be in good hands for the next few months, and you treat him well, and, he's going to work hard for you. That about wraps up this broadcast this week. This has been a very good show, and I've enjoyed having all my guests here, and I hope that you all enjoyed it as well. And before Bryn plays us out, Bryn Butler, ladies and gentlemen, star of stage, screen, and television and radio, has his speaking of radio, he's got a radio show that comes on right after mine here in about a minute and a half. And Bryn, the name of the show is Event Horizon. Now, program note, before we even get into that program note, next week is Pledge Week around here, right? That's the big week, right? When we start to, we depend on our listeners, our supporters out there to help keep us on the air. So next week, we won't have a structured show, but we will have a show, and you'll get to hear from Bryn, and you'll get to hear from Lulu and whoever else decides to drop in next Monday evening. But so tune in next Monday for Pledge Week. But in the meantime, Bryn, you have a show to do tonight, right. And what are things? What's the feel for you this evening?
Well, I guess as the weather's been getting warmer, there's a little bit more feel-good music in my mix. It's not all dark and oppressive atmosphere. There's a little bit of that in the middle. Towards about 7:30, you might hear a little bit of that, but there'll be some fun stuff you guys might be able to hear on your way back home in the car, perhaps.
Dark and oppressive, man. That's rough. Anyway, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't touch that dial. As Brent plays this out, he's coming up next with a fresh edition of Event Horizon. For us, a great show. Really appreciate you out there supporting us and checking things out. And if you like what we do, go out and tell somebody. And as I said earlier, we're going to be doing some things. We're going to be expanding our presence a bit on social media platforms. So stay tuned for that bit of information as well. In the meantime, stay tuned for Event Horizon with Bryn. And for all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, thank you to my guests. Thank you to my audience out there. And for Lulu and for Bryn and for yours truly. Thank you, Memphis.